Right now, New York City police are searching for a suspect after more than a dozen people were injured in a shooting in a New York subway station. And as the war in Ukraine continues, sources say Russian forces may be using chemical weapons. This is News 3 Now at noon. Good afternoon, I'm Mark Kane. Right now, western parts of North Dakota are under a blizzard warning, with many cities experiencing heavy snow. Here's a look at what it looked like in the state this morning. Snow accumulations could reach 12 to 24 inches in some parts of the state. This is part of the same storm system that'll hit our area tonight, but we will be on the warm side of this. Let's head to the Weather Center. Julian Seawright has a look at your certified most accurate forecast.
That's right. We are going to be on the warm side of things. As we can see, much more cloud covers already starting to blanket us as we're getting into the rest of our afternoon. Kicking things off with our current conditions as of right now, this is pretty much the quiet time for us as we get into our last few hours before we start to see some different rounds of rain and even some storms coming into tonight's, carrying into our Wednesday. 60 degrees already here in Madison. We're going to be pretty steady throughout the rest of this afternoon. In terms of temperatures, we still have that southeasterly flow funneling in more warmer air for us as we continue throughout the rest of today. Temperatures around southern Wisconsin, 64 degrees in Janesville, 58 degrees into Platteville. As we can see, temperatures into those upper 50s and lower 60s as we are starting off our afternoon, but the wind speeds are definitely on to the breezier side. Now, checking out the radar, some areas are starting to see just a little bit of some rainfall, but that's mainly into northern Iowa and to northern Illinois as well. As we're kicking things off, still on the dry side, even though cloud cover is sticking around for us. Again, our alert day is for late tonight into Wednesday afternoon. We're going to talk more in detail about timing out these different rounds of severe storms that are going to be possible for us in just a few moments. Until then, back to you, Mark.
All right, Julian, we'll check back. Stay up to date on the weather on our First Warn weather app. It has hourly forecasts, road conditions, and the latest radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. New at noon, at least 10 people were shot and 8 others were injured after a gunman opened fire inside a Brooklyn subway station this morning. Police are still searching for the shooter. The suspect seen fleeing the scene wearing a gas mask and a construction worker's vest. A spokesperson for the mayor said smoke devices were found on the scene. There were no life-threatening injuries, and the attack is not being investigated as terrorism. Schools in the area are still under lockdown, with students and staff sheltering in place.
It was scary because I didn't know what was going on. I thought someone maybe got a hit or something. It was just like a scary moment, and everyone was packed in that little station getting out. It was very scary.
New York City has faced a series of shootings and violent incidents in recent months. You can follow the latest updates on this story on channel3000.com. Fighting continues in Mariupol as Ukrainian forces try to maintain control of the city. Officials say Russian military may be using chemical weapons in some parts of the country. Skylar Henry has the latest.
Loud explosions and smoke billowed into the sky of the city of Mariupol Tuesday. The nearly 6-week-long battle for control of the port city is taking its toll, with the mayor saying 10,000 civilians have been killed. He says, "We understand that the part of the city occupied by the Russian army has been closed off. They're collecting these bodies, and we understand where they're being compiled to hide evidence of their crimes." Now the U.S. and U.K. are investigating reports, which CBS News has not verified, that Russia may have used chemical weapons in Mariupol.
The use of chemical weapons is abhorrent. It does cross a line, and all options are on the table for how we would respond.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has put a new leader in charge of Russia's war in Ukraine. General Alexander Dvornikov previously led Russia's efforts in Syria, where chemical weapons were used.
He and other senior Russian leaders have shown in the past, and you mentioned Syria as one example, have shown clearly in the past their disregard for avoiding civilian harm.
Russian forces have regrouped after pulling out from areas around Kyiv and now appear to be preparing for a new offensive in eastern Ukraine. People in the Donbas region of eastern Ukraine are digging in, preparing for the offensive. Putin seemed to confirm the target this morning, saying the main goal is to help people in Donbas. Putin also says peace talks with Ukraine are at a, quote, dead end. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Putin also claims the atrocities in the town of Busha are fake, saying evidence of mass killings there were planted by British intelligence. The government requirement for travelers to wear masks on planes and other public transportation is set to expire on Monday. Regulators still need to decide whether to extend the mandate or end it. Most Americans favor an extension. A recent survey found 6 in 10 support staying masked up. The industry sees things differently. 4 industry groups cite economic cost for pushing the White House to end travel mask rules for all. And a new poll finds the vast majority of Americans believe COVID is no longer a crisis. The Axios Ipsos Coronavirus Index found less than 10% of Americans currently describe it as a crisis. 1 in 6 say it's not even a problem. 37% of respondents said they've gone back to their regular pre-pandemic lives. Axios says the stats raise major challenges for public health officials in managing possible new surges. Officials say more and more teens are overdosing on fentanyl. Adolescent drug overdose deaths doubled over the last decade. A new study from the medical journal JAMA shows that there were about 500 adolescent overdose deaths in 2010 and more than 1,100 last year. Fentanyl was involved in more than 75% of the most recent cases. Researchers say the increase isn't because more teens are using drugs. Madison police say they found shell casings overnight on the city's west side. Reports of shots fired were called in just after 10 p.m. near Allied Drive, just off the Beltline. Officials say they canvassed the area and found 10 spent casings. They didn't find any damage or anyone injured. This is the 4th investigation into shots fired in the area since last Thursday. Resurfacing is now underway on the Highway 18 151 project in Dane County. Crews will be working on an 8-mile stretch between the Dane and Iowa County line and Town Hall Road in Mount Horeb. During construction, traffic will be reduced to 1 lane each way. The project will wrap up this November. A Greene County fire chief is stepping down. Monroe Chief William Erb says he's resigning due to personal reasons. Erb was just sworn in back in January. The Monroe City Administrator says it's too soon to say when a new chief could be appointed or who would be considered for the job. A Madison tradition returns this weekend for its 50th year. In just a few days, over 250 local Wisconsin producers will set up bright and early on the Capitol Square. But 50 years ago, in 1972, only 5 farmers had booths of locally grown goods. The Saturday market on the square has become a trademark of Madison. Organizers say the best part of the market is that the products are exclusively from Wisconsin. The market on the square returns Saturday morning, 6:15, and runs until 1:45. And starting today, Madison City golf courses will open for the season. The City Parks Department says the Monona, Odana Hills, and Yahara Hills golf courses will all be open and playable. Glenway Golf Park is still closed for its remodel. And there's more to come on News 3 Now at noon.
Investors digest the latest reading on inflation, and girls run the world, Wall Street included. I'm Diane King Hall at the CBS Broadcast Center. Of those stories and more in your CBS Money Watch report.
You're watching News 3 Now at noon.
Rising prices have hit us all pretty hard, especially utility bills. Here's how USA Insulation can help. When we wrap your home in our foam, it keeps your expensive warm air from leaking out, just like an insulated coffee mug. And with our low monthly payment plans, you can use your energy savings to help pay for it. Imagine a more comfortable home that saves you money. Call now and get a $500 discount on whole home insulation.
USA Insulation.
Do you suffer from chronic or severe back or neck pain? Did you know that there's now a treatment method available right here at Midwest Spine and Nerve Center that offers hope of avoiding spinal surgery for those suffering with bulging, herniated, or degenerative discs? Our therapies help reduce pain related to these conditions and have a high success rate in helping people just like you avoid back or neck surgery.
I've experienced low back pain for over 15 years. I had back surgery when I was 26 and had difficulties recovering. The doctors at Midwest Spine and Nerve Center have given me a new lease on life. I am now able to enjoy an active, pain-free lifestyle.
Call Midwest Spine and Nerve Center now to schedule a no-obligation consultation to see if our progressive pain-relieving therapies are right for you.
W is different from the competition because
we bring 3 offices at once to one case.
A team of excellent lawyers from around the state
to bring justice for the needs of our clients.
All in to win. Gingras, Thompson & Walks.
McGann Furniture in downtown Baraboo should probably be called McGann Furniture and Flooring because we're the area's oldest and most experienced floor covering store. Our friendly staff will explain the many types of flooring available, answer questions, and make suggestions so you can choose what's best for your home and lifestyle. We always offer free in-home measurements and estimates and use the finest installers in the entire area. And remember, at McGann's, we don't inflate prices only to mark them down for a sale. Stop in today and discover the difference. You'll be glad you did. McGann Furniture, downtown Baraboo.
Create your ideal outdoor living space with help from Menards. Start off with new indoor-outdoor carpet. It's a perfect option for your decks, porches, and sunrooms. EcoFi carpet is 39 cents a square foot after 11% rebate. Keep your furry friends happy, healthy, and safe with innovative products from PetSafe. From pet fences to training collars and more. Save 11% on all PetSafe products. Get 11% off everything right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
The cost of living in America shot up in March. According to the Commerce Department, prices surged 8.5% on an annual basis last month. That was more than expected and the hottest inflation in decades. Rising fuel, food, and housing costs sent inflation soaring. The mood of small business owners took a hit in March. According to the National Federation of Independent Business, its optimism index slid about 2 points to a reading of 93.2. The index has fallen every month this year, and small business owners cited inflation as their chief concern in March. The list of the world's busiest airports is out. According to the Airports Council International, Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport reclaimed the top spot. Some 75.7 million passengers reportedly traveled through it last year. It was followed by Dallas-Fort Worth and Denver International Airport. Chicago's O'Hare and LAX rounded out the top 5. And the Fearless Girl statue is planting her feet firmly in the ground and staying put in front of the New York Stock Exchange for at least a little bit longer. City officials granted the statue a permit extension until early next year so that all the parties involved can decide on a permanent home. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Diane King Hall.
Thank you, Diane. Let's check Wall Street afternoon hour up, so we don't have the numbers in. So we'll move along. Next to noon, Pam Yankee has your latest ag numbers, plus who took home the awards during last night's Country Music Awards, and thunderstorms in the forecast for tonight. Julian has all you need to know when we come back.
Rest comfortably with brands you can trust at Wanakee Furniture ETC. Create a unique and stylish room with made-in-the-USA products from companies like Smith Brothers of Bern. Select from a wide variety of sofas at a great price.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture ETC.
He's turned on working families again. Ron Johnson said no to bringing new jobs to Wisconsin. Now he's supporting the Republican plan that phases out Social Security and Medicare and increases taxes on middle-class families.
Time for Democrat Alex Lasry. Lasry says let's get more money into working people's pockets and cut their taxes. No wonder so many unions say Alex Lasry is the strongest Democrat to beat Ron Johnson.
I'm Alex Lasry, and I approve this message.
Another injury claim, another denial.
What's the status of that car accident?
Denied it this morning.
Good. Not a fan of paying high medical bills.
Our doctor totally came through.
Good. Let's make sure we do the same thing on the next one.
Denying. It's what we do. They called the law offices of Huppy and Abraham. Should we settle this one?
Call Huppy and Abraham right now. Tell the insurance company you mean business.
Fry Construction invites you to celebrate spring with our big Spring Thaw sale. We're talking about savings of 22%. Many of your neighbors already know how we strive to meet and exceed expectations with each and every project. That's why they voted us Best Roofer 2 years in a row. Experience the best of Madison for yourself with Fry Construction. Get on board with our Spring Thaw sale. Save 22% off gutters or insulation with any full roofing project. Schedule your consultation today at fryconstruction.com.
Let the design team at Wanakee Furniture ETC help you find your inspiration and transform your room. Every style, every budget, our creativity, passion, and expertise will help you design your dream space.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture ETC.
Signs of spring are back in the 608. Josh Breider takes us to the Union Terrace as those sunburst chairs come out.
And the top story will be the alert day in store.
That's as more rounds of showers and thunderstorms continue to move our way. That's tomorrow morning from 4:30 to 7.
A young woman faced with a lifetime of challenges.
You hear your whole life about the limitations, but you never hear about the exceptions.
See how drive, skill, and love for the sport have helped this cheerleader overcome her obstacles to become a champion. Thursday at 6. The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
And let's check in now with Pam Yankee from the Midwest Farm Report. Some rain on the way.
Yeah, it feels that way. I was driving back from Janesville a little while ago, and you could see how the clouds were closing in. I'll try to help you out there, too. The Dow Jones Industrial Average on the midday up about 118 points, just in case somebody's watching that activity. My activity's out in the fields. Now, granted, there's not a lot of activity, and if there's rain coming, we'll see even less. But the Wisconsin Ag Statistical Service came out with their weekly crop progress report. About 1% of our oats in the ground, 1% of our spring tillage done. And still a little concern out there about our winter wheat. 58% of that called good to excellent this week. That's 3 percentage points lower than it was last week. Same situation with our pasture conditions. They're 37% good to excellent, down 1 percentage point compared to last week. But I think everybody pretty much understands if we get sunshine and warm weather around, those numbers are likely to improve pretty soon, pretty quick. Subsoil moisture also improving across a good chunk of the state of Wisconsin. That's good news, too. Also want to congratulate some 5 of our Wisconsin agriculture educators that are being honored with Herb Cole Fellowships. Forgive me if I butcher your name, folks. Candace Franks is with the Badger FFA. Josh Capadaro is up in Portage. Amanda Levzo-Sichter is in Partyville. Tracy Heinbuch is in Plymouth. And Michelle DeBach is up in Gillett. They are among the 100 teachers in the state that are receiving this fellowship. They will share with their schools $6,000 as part of the recognition. There were about 50 agriculture education teachers the state has already given those honors to. So congratulations again to those 5. Talking about dairy markets today, not a lot to report. Again today, barrel and block cheese both unchanged. The AA butter slips about 3/4 cent to $2.77 and $2.77.5 per pound. And again, continuing to keep an eye on what's happening with this weather. We need the rain. Of course, we want that as a good base for getting things started. But the heat is just about as welcome as dry weather. You know what I mean?
Yeah, things are really going to start to pop once it warms up a little bit.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Pam. Music City USA celebrated some of its best performers during last night's CMT Music Awards. The broadcast featured nearly 20 performances, including a historic one from a mother-daughter duo. Megan Alexander has the details.
Love can build
a dynamic performance from the mother-daughter duo The Judds, their first on an awards show in 2 decades, was just one highlight of many during Monday night's CMT Music Awards show. Nearly 20 acts featured an assortment of artists performing everything from traditional country
Seems like love went out of fashion.
to dynamic cross-genre collaborations.
This year's CMT Awards show was like no other. You could feel the energy in the audience and right here backstage as some of country music's biggest stars performed fan favorites.
Jason Aldean and Carrie Underwood's If I Didn't Love You won Video of the Year and Best Collaborative Video.
This one's all about the fans, man, so thank you, fans. Thank you, CMT.
Miranda Lambert's If I Was a Cowboy won Female Video of the Year.
I'm so happy to be just a part of the Women in Country Music today.
Male Video of the Year went to Cody Johnson's Till You Can't.
Long live country music. Are you with me?
Parker McCullum won for Breakthrough Video of the Year.
Try to write real country songs from the heart that mean something, and appreciate it being recognized. Thank y'all.
And Maddie and Tay took home the Group or Duo of the Year prize. Megan Alexander, CBS News, Nashville.
Big night in music and maybe a big night for storms coming up, Julian.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we're going to be preparing you all for, is for some rumbles of thunder that could be severe throughout tonight. This is what we're looking at, folks. An alert day is in effect for late tonight into tomorrow at afternoon. So we're looking for severe thunderstorms to be possible with the round of storms and showers that we're going to be seeing throughout later this evening and going into our Wednesday afternoon. High winds and hail are going to be the main and primary threats that we're going to be expecting for us, but isolated tornadoes can't be ruled out for some areas. Now, this isn't going to be a super widespread event, but many of us in the viewing area could be seeing some of these storms and showers popping up for us. But this is what we're looking at just as of right now. Not a whole lot of activity, but some is starting to stir up, especially just north of Iowa into southern Minnesota. As of right now, you can see just some lightning signatures over into our friends in southern Minnesota. But as we look at what we're seeing, well, we have a severe weather outlook that has been upgraded to a moderate risk for central and northern Iowa, which is just clipping into parts of southern Minnesota. That's what we're going to be looking at for today to be the highest impact or chances of impact of seeing severe weather for today. But that also sees the slight risk for us. That's where our areas just west of Dane County, we have a chance of seeing some severe storms coming into the later part of tonight. But again, we are not having that strong of confidence as friends over into Iowa. And transitioning into tomorrow, we can see it shifts just a bit more to the east. Now, yesterday we did have that slight risk blanket much of southern Wisconsin, but for now, we have seen the update. Well, we're going into tomorrow as it's mainly going to be from Dane County and eastward for that slight risk of seeing severe storms going into our Wednesday. But again, Chris has talked about it all morning. The real thing that's going to be the factor here is the timing of these storms, because if it's earlier, well, we're not going to be seeing as strong storms going into the later parts of our day. But this is what we're going to be tracking, mainly the cape of the energy of these storms that will be starting to push their way into northern and upper Midwest. With that load, it's going to continue to track its way to the north. That's where it's going to start to pop in those storms that will start to stretch its way across the upper Midwest and continue to track its way east. And that's going to be moving itself from Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening. So that's why those are going to be our main timelines where we're going to be focusing on for the most part. Now, as we get into our Tuesday evening, we'll start to see some wider spread showers, especially for areas just north of Madison. But as we get into the later part of tonight, well, that's where we're going to really start to see the activity and the event to really start to kick off, especially areas just to the west of La Crosse and even around Madison. As we get into the overnight hours, we can see some more storms that could be severe will start to pop up for us and carry into the overnight hours and even trail into the early morning. But then as we get into the afternoon, we'll start to see a bit of a break as the more drier period will start to roll its way in. But until we get into the afternoon and evening hours, then we'll start to see coming in from the south, pushing north, another round of some storms that will be starting to roll in for our Wednesday evening commute and even to our early parts of our Wednesday evening. Plenty of rainfall is going to be expected for us, about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of rain throughout southern Wisconsin. But the gusts are also going to be sticking around for us throughout tonight and going into our Wednesday, carrying into our Thursday as well. So expect those windy conditions, but this is the bottom line that we're expecting here. We are looking for the severe risk to really be conditional. It really just expects when that storm is going to pop off, because the earlier, well, the less severe the storms are going to be, because they're just not going to have the energy to do so. But either way, we're going to be looking at this to be a good time to practice our severe weather safety plan and being able to just stay aware of what we're going to be looking at here. But aside from the next 2 days, things are going to be quieting out pretty quickly, and on top of it, chilling down quite a bit. We're going back to the 40s after Wednesday as that cold front sweeps in and colder air is going to stick around. Not a whole lot of precipitation in our forecast moving forward, but we still have some chances of seeing some showers here and there. But for the most part, drier weather and cooler weather is ahead after the next 2 days, Mark.
All right, just get through the next couple of days.
Yep, just the next few hours, and then we're good.
All right, thanks, Julian. Up next, Howard is spending the rest of this week getting ready for Easter in the Mr. Fu Test Kitchen.
Need an extra pair of hands in the kitchen on Easter? We have an idea that will make getting dinner on the table so much easier.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Enough! This doom and gloom ends now.
It's time for a brighter view. Let the sun shine in with 2-for-1 windows from Feldco. Plus, no interest until 2023.
2-for-1 windows from Feldco ends soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
These days, Social Security is denying more disability claims than ever. If you can't work, it can be harder to win benefits. I'm attorney Don Becker. Now more than ever, you need an experienced disability lawyer. For over 30 years, my firm has helped people win benefits. Disability law is all we do.
The Becker Law Office, 608-640-3868.
Spring is in the air. The birds are back. The days are warmer and spring blossoms are starting to pop. Beautiful, colorful, delicate flowers. This spring, let the outdoor living experts at the Bruce Company help you bring this season to life. Colorful plants, stylish garden art, and the latest trends in outdoor furniture. The Bruce Company has everything you need to start your spring off right. So what's your dream this spring? Find it at the Bruce Company on Parmenter Street in Middleton. Your outdoor living experts.
Things were really starting to turn worse for my mom. They basically said, that's all we can do.
Right to try is hope when there is no hope.
We had done research on the Zysami. Apparently it was still in stage 3 clinical trials.
She couldn't have that medication unless it was for the Right to Try Act and Senator Johnson's work.
This is 3 days after the treatment, and you can see the difference. You know, without the efforts of Senator Johnson, my mom wouldn't be here today.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
There are so many things we take for granted, and along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for granted too. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living, and through no fault of their own, they're being left behind? If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our energy, water, and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
You know, when it comes to getting Easter dinner or really any big holiday meal ready, one of the biggest challenges is getting everything done at the same time so everything's hot when we serve it. That often means we got to do some juggling. But this year, why not turn to your slow cooker for help? As you're planning your menu, think about what you can serve that can be prepared in a slow cooker. We have a bunch of recipes on MrFood.com that can help you out. Rather than worrying about how you're going to keep your stovetop mashed potatoes or vegetable casserole warm once it's done, why not simply transfer them into a slow cooker and keep them warm until it's time to serve? And since many of us have a few slow cookers in different sizes, get them out and put them to the task. One dish that I'll be making this Sunday in a slow cooker are these Orange Kiss glazed carrots. After putting everything in a slow cooker, you just turn it on, and come dinner time, they're done. If you want the recipe for our slow-cooked glazed carrots, simply check out our website. I'm Howard of the Mr. Food Test Kitchen with Kelly, who loves her veggies. And today, we found a slow cooker solution way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Here's Julia now. One final check of the forecast.
And just a reminder, folks, we're going to be talking about the alert day. So just make sure that you have your severe weather plan in place and ready to go, because this is going to be mainly an overnight event, early morning, and again for our Wednesday evening. That's where we have the alert days to be in place for us for some severe storms. So make sure that you have our weather app updated or downloaded so you can get the updates when we are providing them throughout the course of this event. Afterwards, we are looking for much more quieter conditions and colder conditions as well as we get in throughout the rest of this week back to the 40s, and we're going to maintain those 40s for quite a while. Just a few times we're going to be seeing some chances of seeing some precipitation, but for the most part we're staying on the dry side and staying on the cool side. Again, just make sure that you're staying weather aware over the next 48 hours as we are trying to cover and keep you up to date and safe with the alert day. Back to you, Mark.
All right, Julian, thank you. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. In the meantime, have a great afternoon.